Hey everybody, thanks for playing World of Tanks, and thanks for taking a look at this World of Tanks video. Gonna be kind of an exciting match here depicted in this video, and at one point in time you're gonna see that I get called out by a teammate for some of my play, so we'll see that. We might even say something about it. Again, kind of an exciting match, one of those nail biters, kind of comes down to the end, and yeah. I think the other team makes it look a lot harder than it should have been, or maybe I make it look a lot harder than it should have been. But that's okay. We'll take a look and see what we see there, and get an encounter match with the capture circle, kind of that mutual capture circle in there in the middle of the map. So I kind of generally head into that position. Not necessarily going to sit in the circle. That's definitely not my design. But just kind of get into the middle of the map because it's the middle of the map and it happens to have the circle. Spotting up some of the enemy light tanks here, keeping an eye on them as they keep an eye on us. We're going to see that the enemy light tanks in this match actually play really well. They're actually a pretty big key to the way that this match turns out. So we see we have a few mediums kind of conglomerating here in the middle. We have our two artillery down in the south, a couple of destroyers down there, and the enemy team has some vehicles heading that way. They also have this Samwa or the Samua up here, and he's kind of fallen back, and that's a really smart position. He's on the other side of that hill there, and kind of peeking up and then backing down, basically giving our guys an opportunity to sort of chase him down down his side of the hill, which would be not good for us. And fortunately we don't get too far over the hill there, and this Tiger P finds himself in an unfortunate position. I managed to get some tracking shots in here as well as some penetrations, and his health is not looking real good. We have that one medium at about D5-6 right now. That might be a little bit too far forward. Inevitably, there are going to be a lot of enemy vehicles on that western side of the map, and so if we put ourselves over there, then it'll probably be the case that a lot of those vehicles will have shots on us. And as we can see, these two light tanks on the enemy team have kind of pushed over here on this side of the map, and so it is our obligation to take some of their hit points from them as much as we can. You see me miss one shot there. It's a pretty nice straight on shot. I still miss it somehow. It's the auto lock, and it just kind of went upward there with me driving around and firing on the move. And this HWK here managed to take out a tank destroyer that we had back there. Rather than allow him to just kind of run free toward the south, toward our artillery, I come at that vehicle in pursuit, get a track, and here it would have been good for me to have just kept pushing directly toward the that light tank. I had kind of had my vehicle positioned to keep running laterally, kind of parallel to that tank's trajectory there, and so I wasn't in a good position to push directly at the light tank after tracking it. I do get a follow-up shot in there as he gets going. And here you're going to see that he gets taken out pretty shortly, although not by me. Got my third shot in there, and then the artillery gets the ram. Hopefully I'll go back to our broad mini-map. I'm moving up here, get behind, yeah, there we go, get behind these rocks, stay covered from artillery fire, generally speaking. Alright, so we have a destroyer down south at K6 there. Me and that other medium backed by our artillery had fallen to the east and then again south, shooting that light tank up, and we have some vehicles there, including that Panzer IV had pushed into the enemy side of the map, shooting up some tanks. Me and that other medium back in the south, kind of coming back into the center part of the map, trying to re-engage with the fight, having finished off the light tank. Those two vehicles that we had up around E4 have now been eliminated, And now the guy who was playing the Panzer IV is clicking on my position, as if I sort of let him die or was not in the fight. At this point we do have someone pushing, an enemy vehicle pushing in on our destroyer's position, and so me and this medium tank, the Senshi, are coming down here to help our tank destroyer stay alive. Get a shot in there, and I'm able to move safely down these rocks into a position beside or even behind this destroyer. Get another shot with the reload, and then someone else gets the elimination. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten up in here with these buildings, basically to get cover from artillery fire. And so we have a light tank backed by our artillery. And the guy who was playing the Panzer IV is continuing to suggest that I am out of position. And maybe if I had not responded, maybe these clicks on the map would have not continued. I'm not really into people, I don't know, passing along messages that are inaccurate. I think that it is fair to say that I was playing well, and I'm not into people trying to indicate, trying to send messages, whether those messages are received by me or by other players. I'm not into the messages being sent that I was out of position when I wasn't. So you can see there, me and this medium tank moved on forward and eliminated the enemy medium. And I'm still concerned about this light tank that was over here in the east that had taken out our last artillery. He's clearly out there somewhere. Either he's hiding, staying down in that southeast corner behind those ridge lines, or he's moved kind of back up north and into the middle portions of the map. Either way, I just don't know, and I'm concerned. I'm recognizing that either one of those is a possibility. I'm wanting to keep an eye out for that light tank, and I'm also wanting to provide support to our tank destroyer here. At this point in the match, that Senshi is a little bit less than half hit points, quite a bit less than half hit points maybe. Gotten himself way off to the side of the map. I recognize that our tank destroyer ally has a really big gun. It's the Iron Rain. It's a really potent gun, and you know, especially kind of in this latter portions of the match when they have just 3 tanks left, and those 3 tanks, you know, basically don't have very much armor and are pretty low on hit points just in terms of the types of tanks that they are. I'm recognizing that this Iron Rain is a potentially very, very valuable ally, so I'm wanting to do what I can to first of all maintain support of his gun, and second of all provide him with my support as well, so that you know, maybe I'm able to help him save his hit points, hold on to his hit points, and between the two of us, we do have quite a few of our hit points. We're playing pretty well. We're in the center portions of the map, which allow us to play either the east or the west halves of a map. Being in the center allows us to kind of play the north and the south as well, if that becomes relevant. Our ally medium here is pursuing that light tank. It's clearly just a baiting maneuver that light tank is using. Our medium tank ally is kind of falling for it. I'm trying to get him to hold off on that, but it's too late. He gets taken out by the enemy turtle. That enemy turtle, that player's really good, or at least doing a really good job with this match. Alright, so our tank destroyer has pushed into the capture point, just kind of threatening the enemy team with the position at this point in time, basically demanding that this light tank kind of engage the tank destroyer directly or lose to capture potentially. You know, recognizing that chasing that light tank around is kind of a futile effort, kind of insisting that light tank basically engage us on our terms rather than allowing ourselves to be baited into engaging that light tank on the enemy light tank's terms. That guy seems to have some pretty good cover, or that tank destroyer with a rock in that tower there. Rather than just sitting out in the open, I'm kind of coming over here to this back side of the hill, staying hidden, staying undetected, and we're just letting that clock tick away, forcing the enemy team to do something about it, to engage us on our terms rather than chasing that light tank around and allowing him to engage us on his terms and allowing his hidden artillery allies to shoot us unseen. Getting pretty low in the clock down here to 20 seconds. That light tank's making a move. Waiting for a good shot. There's a clean straightaway shot. Get the lock on in the hit. I didn't see if that was a low roll or not, but he only has 16 hit points left. Kind of frustrating. He's kind of running off. I'm sitting up here in the circle still rather than chasing him. And this enemy artillery is kind of making a move in here. I do get hit by the M12, who is still unseen. I think has yet to be unspotted. I get out of the circle here, just trying to keep an eye on the light tank. Also, stay safe from the artillery fire. Take a shot there, and wait a second. Did that just bounce off the artillery? And yes, indeed, it looks like that shot, that lock-on shot, deflected off the top of the artillery. You can kind of see that divot there in the tank image. And that's pretty surprising. And you can see as I did that, I did spot the enemy M12 artillery. For the first time in this match, enemy light tank left himself up too much being aggressive on our tank destroyer. I get a shot in there. M12 misses me. Partially because I was swerving around, partially just because it's an artillery and it's tough to aim those. And here I'm lit up, got the sixth sense visible. I'm just trying to sort of stay safe in case that guy reloads surprisingly fast or something, but also mainly just sort of getting out of the line of sight, getting that sixth sense off of me. It lasted quite a while there. I think one of those vehicles, maybe the M12, maybe that light tank, had the perk that sort of extends the spotting of the enemy vehicles. I don't remember what that's called. I've never had it yet. Anyway, I just wanted to get rid of that so that this enemy artillery didn't know where I was coming at him from as I kind of regroup, reposition, and come at him. Basically hidden. Our destroyer's playing really well, still got his hit points. He's staying a threat in that capture circle. I spot the M12. He happens to be firing a shot right there. And I don't know where that shot goes. Get the ram, get the reload, and eliminate the final enemy vehicle. If that M12 had not happened to have been trying to fire on our destroyer as I came up over the hill at him, if he had still had his round available, it is possible right there as you saw him turn and quickly get his gun in my direction, it is possible that an enemy artillery could have fired that round on me and eliminated me from the map, and at that point that would have been pretty tough going. I think that by that point in the match, that tank destroyer was pretty low on hit points. Anyway, kind of an exciting outcome. Certainly the outcome that our team would have preferred. Well, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you have any thoughts on how my play could have been better, could have been more effective? Let me know what you think. Anyway, thanks for taking a look at this World of Tanks video, and thanks for playing World of Tanks.